Marcus Smart recently had a heated moment on IG Live, calling out Jason Tatum and revealing some surprising antics from their time together. He's clearly unbothered by the potential backlash. I anticipate plenty of criticism and negative reactions. That's perfectly fine. I'm ready for it. Tatum's caught off guard. Time to manage the fallout. How did you react personally when Marcus said those things? It really hit me, wow. Without a doubt. Should Smart's comments hold true, Tatum's reputation could take a significant hit. Here's the backstory and why it holds weight. An unexpected turn of events sent shockwaves through the basketball community when it emerged that Marcus Smart, who has been the backbone of the Boston Celtics for almost 10 years, had signed with their longtime adversaries, the Los Angeles Lakers. However, the implications go well beyond a mere player switch. On July 22, 2025, Marcus Smart's agreement with the Lakers following his contract buyout from the Washington Wizards sent ripples through the world of basketball. However, the intriguing narrative lies in the untold details. For those unfamiliar, Smart dedicated 9 intense seasons to Boston, emerging as the team's defensive cornerstone and passionate leader, as they repeatedly came up just shy of reaching championship heights. That is, until 2024, when they finally triumphed. Yet by that time, Smart had already departed. His transition to Los Angeles represented more than just a typical free agency deal. This marked a direct attack on one of the most legendary rivalries in pro sports history. The Celtics-Lakers rivalry has endured for more than 70 years. With a total of 35 NBA titles claimed by both teams, Smart's shift from green to purple and gold strikes like a deep betrayal to Celtic supporters who witnessed his dedication to their team. Yet, this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. This is where our insider details become crucial. Insiders familiar with the matter have disclosed that Smart's exit transcended the game of basketball. It was intimately tied to a long-standing rift with his ex-teammate and alleged brother, Jason Tatum. While I'm unsure of the details, I can certainly anticipate plenty of drinks being poured and a wave of animosity. It's all good. I can accept that. The anguish in Smart's tone was evident as he spoke to reporters about becoming a Laker. It wasn't a moment of joy. Instead, it reflected the deep wounds from his Boston experience, especially regarding the fallout with Tatum. Adding fuel to this narrative is Luka Doncic's significant involvement in Smart's decision. Doncic reached out to Smart numerous times, urging him to make the move to Los Angeles. Interestingly, Smart confessed that he initially brushed off Doncic's advances when he learned of the interest. When his agent contacted him a second time to say that Luka had made another attempt to connect, Smart understood it was genuine. Initially, my agent reached out while I was training, telling me Luka had expressed interest. I was skeptical, thinking, yeah, right. Then, just a day later, I get another call about Luka reaching out again. At that point, I realized this was for real. Doncic's recruitment extended beyond mere basketball talent. It was a matter of affirmation. After enduring years of feeling neglected in Boston, especially in his dynamic with Tatum, Smart discovered an ally who genuinely desired his presence, someone who recognized his worth and wasn't hesitant to declare it openly. However, it's time to delve into the true narrative surrounding Smart and Tatum, as this is where our insider insights turn incendiary. Their relationship has been marked by friction, largely due to Smart's loud, passionate leadership approach conflicting with Tatum's quieter demeanor. The tipping point arrived sooner than many understood. In November 2021, following a crushing defeat against the Chicago Bulls in which the Celtics squandered an 18-point advantage, Smart openly condemned Tatum and Jaylen Brown for their tendency to dominate the ball, implying they were self-centered players who neglected to share the court. This remark wasn't simply a spur-of-the-moment outburst. It was Smart voicing years of exasperation about being overshadowed by Tatum's hubris. Adding to the impact, Smart chose to air these grievances publicly rather than keeping them to himself. He put their issues on display, effectively exposing his teammates to scrutiny from the basketball community. The fallout from those remarks caused lasting harm to their bond. Tatum later expressed that Smart's public critique took him by surprise. Although they spoke the following day and Smart expressed remorse, the trust between them couldn't be completely rebuilt. What did you personally think when Marcus commented earlier in the season about you and JB needing to share the ball? It definitely caught me off guard, without a doubt. What's particularly revealing is that Smart's exit appeared to enhance the team's dynamics right away. Some analysts pointed out that the locker room atmosphere improved following Smart's trade, crediting it to the elimination of his intense style of accountability, which occasionally felt heavy-handed for younger players such as Tatum. The Lakers utilized their biannual exception, worth $5.1 million for the 2025-26 season, to sign Smart. However, they had to engage in significant financial adjustments to facilitate the move. They released guards Shake Milton and Jordan Goodwin, generating the required cap space while remaining under the initial apron hard cap. What makes this transition particularly contentious in terms of rivalry is Smart's unique status. He isn't merely any athlete signing with the Lakers. He is a Celtic icon who represented the essence of the franchise. Smart ranks fourth for steals in Celtics history with 914, fifth in three-pointers made with 911, and 11th in assists at 2,700. His shift to Los Angeles feels like a profound act of betrayal. The long-standing Celtics-Lakers rivalry boasts an impressive 12 finals encounters, with Boston leading 9-3, which amplifies the significance of any player changes between these storied teams. The championships won by players such as Rajon Rondo, with both franchises sparked debate. However, Marcus Smart's transition seems distinct due to his recent role with the Celtics and his crucial part in shaping their identity. What's especially intriguing about Smart joining the Lakers is the timing of his move. The Lakers had a bustling offseason, even while being restricted by the first apron, bringing in DeAndre Ayton and Jake LaRavia, and further enhancing their roster around the mid-season pickup of Luka from Dallas back in February 2025. This recruitment highlights how undervalued Smart felt during his last years with Boston. When Don Sick reached out directly, sharing his vision of needing assistance in creating something remarkable, it was the affirmation Smart had yearned for over the years. Competing against Luka during his time in Dallas fostered a mutual respect between them. In every matchup, we took the time to acknowledge each other, showcasing our competitive admiration. He mentioned that while facing off against me was one experience, he truly believed I would be an excellent addition to his team and thought I'd fit in perfectly. The endorsement from Don Sick sharply contrasts with Smart's experience in Boston, especially regarding Tatum, who failed to voice any support amid trade speculations. The difference is striking. A superstar eagerly pursuing Smart while his supposed ally in Boston chose to remain silent during a crucial time for Smart. Additionally, the financial aspects of Smart's Lakers contract, a 2-year deal worth $11 million with a player option for the second year, further illuminate the situation. For a player of Smart's level and defensive reputation, this signifies a notable reduction from what he might have earned at his peak, indicating that his decision was driven by factors beyond just financial gain. Adding to the drama is the manner in which Smart departed for Boston. In June 2023, he was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies as part of a 3-team exchange that included Kristaps Porzingis. He discovered the trade through an ESPN tweet by Shams Charania, which shocked both him and fans alike. The fact that Smart learned of his transaction by social media rather than through the Celtics organization underscores how he was regarded by the team in his last years there. This isn't the way to honor a franchise icon. This is merely a method of eliminating an issue you wish to avoid. It turns out there were several disputes and frictions between Smart and Tatum that pushed them to this tipping point. The events involving these two ex-teammates transcend mere basketball differences. It's a tale of pride, envy, and the damaging effects of unaddressed issues. The disputes that shattered their connection. With the startling details surrounding Smart's transfer to the Lakers now laid bare, we must explore the intricate web of scandals, friction, and interpersonal struggles that ultimately fractured the once solid bond between Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum. The insights you're about to receive will transform your perspective on their relationship and expose the detrimental dynamics that affected the Boston Celtics for years. Let's address the major issue head-on. The ongoing speculations of discord between Smart and Tatum that have lingered for years, even with both players publicly refuting these claims. Initial reports pointed out locker room tensions during the 2018-19 season, where the Celtics struggled despite having a skilled roster, hinting at feelings of jealousy over roles and concerns about the team's future. However, the pivotal moment occurred during that dramatic incident in November 2021 we previously mentioned. What many don't realize is the complete backdrop that led to Smart's outburst. The Celtics had squandered a 19-point advantage in a 128-114 home defeat to the Chicago Bulls, which brought their record down to 2-5 amid tough early games. Smart was thoroughly frustrated with what he saw as self-centered play from Tatum and Brown, emphasizing the need for teamwork that had been previously discussed. We must keep supporting those individuals. Is assistance necessary? I believe it is. The crucial point here is what we've been prompting them to undertake. This was not the initial occasion that Smart had voiced these worries. It marked the peak of prolonged, perhaps years-long, internal dissatisfaction that ultimately spilled into the public domain. Smart's outburst wasn't merely a spontaneous reaction. It illuminated deeper, lingering conflicts within the locker room. The aftermath complicates matters further. The Celtics convened a players-only meeting the following day, characterized by moments of high emotion, yet might not have yielded the effective resolution anticipated. This implies that the core problems between Smart and Tatum remained unaddressed. Former Celtic Kendrick Perkins weighs in. Smart faced strong criticism for his public statements, which some argued damaged team cohesion and were hypocritical considering his own contributions. However, Perkins neglected to address Smart's motivations for his actions. When internal discussions repeatedly break down, public scrutiny can often become the last resort. The issues surrounding Tatum extend far beyond his connection with Smart. It's essential to examine the behavioral patterns that have turned Tatum into one of the NBA's most contentious figures. His tendency to dispute referee calls has raised significant alarm. As commentators observe this escalating tendency, portrays him as excessively emotional, hindering both his performance and team dynamics. Former NBA coach Stan Van Gundy noted that Tatum's behavior has noticeably deteriorated. he now frequently complains without justification, reflecting a major change in his on-court attitude that coincides with Smart's increasing discontent. The trend is unmistakable. As Tatum's star power has increased, so too has his contentiousness, posing challenges for both referees and teammates like Smart, who seek to hold him accountable. He has faced several technical fouls and ejections for disputing non-calls, particularly in clashes with referee Tony Brothers, where he was penalized for excessive gestures and a lack of respect toward the game. However, the most significant controversy surrounding Tatum has been the ongoing, soulless critique that has shadowed his career. Commentators like Colin Cowherd have remarked on his lack of charisma, linking it to Tatum's introverted demeanor and his struggle to engage beyond mere statistics. This criticism peaked after the Celtics celebrated their 2024 championship victory. Tatum's celebrations after winning the championship drew widespread ridicule for being cheesy and disingenuous, as many critics felt his tributes to icons like Kevin Garnett and Kobe Bryant seemed contrived and lacking in originality. This perception sparked a wave of mockery on social media, potentially impacting the morale of the entire team. In the midst of this, we must address a serious issue troubling Tatum: the ongoing federal lawsuit filed under the alias Jane Doug. This civil action accuses Tatum, alongside Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, of sexual assault and other misconduct, with the Boston Celtics also named for alleged negligence in preventing these actions. While no criminal charges have emerged and all parties deny any wrongdoing, the case grabbed fresh attention on social media in early 2025. Despite targeted inquiries revealing limited discussions online, it appears there are efforts to keep this controversy low-key. The involvement of all three players in this lawsuit highlights significant cultural problems within the team during Smart's time. The timeline of the case is quite revealing. It was initiated in June 2024, with Tatum nearly facing a default ruling before his lawyers stepped in, and an appeal was lodged in June 2025. This indicates ongoing legal struggles that may have added strain to the organization. Yet, the controversies extend beyond legal issues. Tatum's personal life has also been marred by claims of cheating and drama regarding his children, which have shadows cast over his career. Reports indicate he left his college partner Sammy Amos for high school sweetheart Taria Lassell after she became pregnant with her son, Deuce, with Amos sharing vague posts on social media, hinting at feelings of betrayal and unfaithfulness. Amos took to social media to air her grievances, sharing vague posts that hinted at feeling deceived and casting aspersions on Tatum's integrity. This prompted tabloid stories, dubbing it typical baby mama conflict, which clearly became a distraction for the team. The saga continued as Tatum began a relationship with British artist LMI, with fresh cheating allegations surfacing about a possible overlap with Lassell. Reports suggested Tatum had initiated his romance with Mai before fully closing the chapter with Lassell, sparking further claims of unfaithfulness and moral concerns. For a leader like Smart, who valued accountability and integrity, witnessing Tatum's off-court issues, along with addressing his on-court temperament, must have been deeply frustrating. This context sheds light on why Smart saw his public critiques as warranted. He found himself observing a person of dubious integrity becoming the face of his organization. The 2024 Olympics scandal added complexity to Tatum's already troubled reputation. Steve Kerr's choice to sit Tatum for 2 matches during the Paris Games, including his statement before the Serbia semifinal that he might struggle to utilize him, was met with widespread condemnation as unacceptable. However, it also indicated that even USA basketball coaches harbored doubts about Tatum's mindset and work ethic. Kerr's willingness to bench a current NBA champion in favor of supporting players like Derek White hinted at more significant worries regarding Tatum's character and willingness to learn. Bob Kowski's fiery rebuke of Kerr, labeling it an embarrassment for that young player on a global stage, showed that even Celtics icons were exasperated by Tatum's treatment, while emphasizing the continued perception issues facing him. In the meantime, Jaylen Brown was completely left off the Olympic team, and he hinted that Nike's sway had a part in this slight, adding more turmoil for Smart to observe as he watched his past teammates navigate one controversy after another. What makes these issues especially harmful is how they highlight a franchise culture that seemed to be spiraling downward under Tatum's command. Smart's position as the emotional anchor and accountability figure grew harder as Tatum's star continued to rise and his receptiveness to critique waned. The tipping point appeared to arrive when Smart sensed that his voice lacked both recognition and respect within the team. Sources indicate Smart was essentially alone in his willingness to challenge Tatum to fulfill his role, but this demand for accountability became increasingly unwelcome, creating an impossible environment for someone committed to honesty. The shift in team dynamics following Smart's exit, attributed to a more relaxed atmosphere with newcomers like Drew Holiday, indicates that the organization ultimately favored Tatum's comfort over Smart's role in fostering accountability, placing star satisfaction above a championship mindset. The tragic aspect of this scenario lies in how it highlights the decline of what was once a true brotherhood. However, as we will examine, the success Smart and Tatum enjoyed together makes his move to the Lakers not merely a betrayal, but possibly a significant error that could trouble both players for years. The achievements they shared and why this decision might become Smart's greatest blunder are critical to consider. Smart and Tatum formed a partnership over 6 seasons with the Boston Celtics, spanning from Tatum's inaugural year in 2017 to 18 to the 2022-23 campaign, creating a core that transformed Boston from a rebuilding team into a consistent championship threat. The statistics from their collaboration are truly remarkable. During the Smart-Tatum era, the Celtics boasted a .665 winning rate, claiming 296 victories out of 445 regular season contests, marking them as one of the most formidable pairs in modern NBA history. They qualified for the playoffs every year they competed together, a notable demonstration of reliability in a highly competitive environment. However, their true legacy lies in their playoff success together. Smart and Tatum reached the Eastern Conference Finals on 3 occasions and made a single appearance in the NBA Finals in 2022, highlighting their skill in high-stakes scenarios. Over the course of their 94 playoff games, they achieved a 54-40 record, illustrating their ability to triumph when it truly counted. Their run to the 2022 NBA Finals represented the peak of their collaboration. In the third game of the Finals against the Golden State Warriors, Smart, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown achieved a historic milestone as they became the first trio in NBA history to each score over 20 points, grab more than 5 rebounds, and dish out at least 5 assists in a Finals match. This remarkable feat highlighted their exceptional synergy and complementary talents. Smart's defensive prowess was an ideal match for Tatum's offensive development, with Smart receiving the title of NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2022 and Tatum making his inaugural All-NBA first team. They formed a partnership that few in NBA history have matched. What truly sets their collaboration apart is how they fueled each other's growth. Tatum improved his scoring from 13.9 points per game as a rookie to an impressive 30.1 in 2022, positioning himself as a serious MVP contender and one of the league's elite scorers. At the same time, Smart achieved the distinction of being the first guard to be named Defensive Player of the Year since Gary Payton did so back in 1996, solidifying his status as the top perimeter defender in the league. Their synergy extended beyond numbers, diving into emotional and mental realms. Smart frequently lauded Tatum's progress, notably when he confidently asserted that Tatum would respond fiercely in a decisive Game 7 following some harsh critiques, demonstrating his faith in his teammates' character. This bond transcended mere basketball. It evolved into a brotherhood forged through countless challenges. The influence Smart had on Tatum's growth defensively is immense and cannot be minimized. Smart earned 3 selections to the All-Defensive First Team during the seasons 2018-19, 2019-20, and 2021-22. Throughout their collaboration, they established a strong defensive framework, allowing for a greater emphasis on his offensive growth, with the league's top perimeter defender providing assurance. However, the potential impact of Smart's transfer to the Lakers could be damaging to his legacy and career trajectory. We must delve into his injury record, which reveals troubling signs regarding his physical condition and outlook. Over his 11-year career, Smart has gained a reputation as one of the most injury-prone athletes in the league, missing more than 200 regular season games alongside crucial playoff moments. The statistics are undeniably concerning. During the injury-plagued 2023-24 season with the Grizzlies, Smart participated in merely 20 games. Over the last 2 seasons, he has appeared in only 54 games, a stark drop from his more resilient tenure in Boston. His intense playing style, characterized by diving for loose balls, absorbing charges, and competing against larger opponents, has severely impacted his physical health. Smart's injury report resembles that of a medical guide, listing ongoing ankle troubles, at least 8 occurrences, finger and hand issues with a minimum of 11 instances, along with calf strains, thigh injuries, and a variety of other health setbacks. For a player set to turn 32 in October 2025, his injury history indicates that his prime years are likely over. The tragedy deepens considering what Smart is stepping away from. The Celtics clinched the 2024 NBA championship without him, marking their first title since 2008. Reports highlight enhanced team chemistry thanks to new arrivals like J.R.U. Holiday, implying that Smart's exit, though painful, ultimately proved advantageous. This success following his trade cast doubt on his real contribution and influence. If the Celtics secured a championship right after his departure, what does that imply about his role in achieving victory? The enhanced synergy of the group and their championship victory imply that Smart's rigorous accountability approach, though beneficial, may have inadvertently fostered some undue stress. Analyzing his fit within the Lakers reveals considerable hurdles. He is anticipated to take on a starting role, potentially sidelining players like Rui Hachimura due to his capacity for perimeter defense and secondary playmaking. However, his sporadic 3-point shooting and offensive constraints might disrupt spacing in the Lakers system. Given the roster's alignment with LeBron James and Luka Doncic, the need for floor spacing and offensive adaptability is crucial, trait Smart has not consistently delivered. Despite his ongoing defensive prowess, it may prove insufficient to counterbalance his offensive drawbacks, particularly as his athleticism wanes with age and injury setbacks. What raises eyebrows is Smart's reasoning behind this decision. His desire to step back into the spotlight and engage in significant basketball again implies a quest for former achievements, rather than embracing his present circumstances. At 32, coupled with a long list of injuries, the wise choice would have been to embrace a supportive role on a strong team, rather than take on a starting position laden with championship pressure. Smart's perception that the Lakers' potential has no boundaries with him aboard seems out of touch with his current physical state and recent track record. Experts have referred to his acquisition as a risky endeavor due to his age and injury background, with some suggesting it could become an issue if he fails to maintain his health. Arguably, the most detrimental aspect of Smart's decision is how it reshapes the story of his time in Boston. Rather than being celebrated as a Celtics icon who put the team's needs first, he's now perceived as someone who compromised his values for external approval. Many Celtics supporters view the Lakers' move as a profound betrayal, particularly given the intense rivalry that has defined these teams. Adding to the uncertainty of this decision is the stiff competition he will encounter in the Western Conference. The West is packed with around a dozen teams that genuinely believe they can make playoff runs, complicating his pursuit of a championship compared to the dominance he enjoyed in the Eastern Conference with Boston. The window for a Lakers championship is swiftly shutting. By the 2025-26 season, LeBron James will be 41, and despite Luka being in his prime, the cast surrounding them raises numerous concerns. Smart's effectiveness as a defensive leader diminishes with his inability to consistently remain healthy, and his injury history indicates reliability will remain a critical issue. The irony here is that Smart's transfer to the Lakers could ironically affirm Tatum's stance from their initial dispute. Should Smart face injuries and underperformance in Los Angeles while Tatum flourishes in Boston, it would vindicate all the criticisms that fueled their breakup. The basketball community is eager to see if Smart can silence his critics and bring a title to Los Angeles. Given his track record of injuries, age, and the way he left Boston, this decision seems more of a risky bet than a calculated move. Only time will reveal whether Marcus Smart's surprising comments about his dynamic with Jason Tatum were worth the cost of his legacy in Boston. If you like this video, tap on one of the boxes on your screen to explore more related content.